Brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to this space. Sorry for that bit of delay, but to say good day. Yes, all the people from the east, all the people from eastern Uganda, this is your space. This is the time to talk about eastern Uganda and how it has suffered from corruption and bad governance and basically everything. So this space is about shining a light into all those regions as we're going to hear. But for now, I want to kickstart this with our co-hosts. Buluma, I don't know if you're ready. You want to hear some sounds from the east before, as we retreat this space and make sure that people know that it's up and it's on. So I welcome you all. We'll take up the mics later. But for now, let's first listen to something. Buluma, I don't know if you're ready. You can take it away now. Yes, so as Buluma prepares to take us away, I want to remind you, brothers and sisters on this space, to retweet, okay? Retweet this space, retweeting. I see around 3 reposts. You just have to go to the bumper of the space. That for me is a purple color. And then, you retweet it and like it probably. And already people in the comment section, there are people who know the drill already. And Mr. James Mungadi is already posting, telling us he's leaving his house right now at 3 a.m. Where he is in America to keep up with the space. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your time, and sooner or later we'll be hearing your input because we know that you might not be in Uganda, but you surely know every grain of or let's say every meter of this country, and you can see it from even afar and give us your own perspective of things. So we'll be glad to hear from you, Mr. James. Thank you for staying on. Fresh Baba, yes, I see you, sir. You're saying you're representing Bagwele tribe from Butembo district, initially Palisa. Yes, Koiza Sugiliako, yeah, respect. So we're going to have a wonderful time here. We're going to listen to, stories on the ground. We want to put our ears on the ground in the east and, hear from everyone. And then from there, we are going to, of course, find solutions, but we already know that we're already on the move. People are trying to make sure, things in the country move right. And that is the purpose of most people who will be on this space. So, Buluma, it is you who is keeping us behind. I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready? All right. Probably what you can do, Buluma, let's start with just introductions. I don't know if you're ready. You can also give us a bit of introduction. We'll have that special thing you had prepared. We'll have it later. So for now, you can just introduce yourself because it's already 11 past the minutes that we started, and the space has already kicked off. So maybe you can just talk to us, and we invite other speakers. And we start because, yes, we have so much to talk about because the East is really, really, really a big, big part of this country. And to be honest, if it is not the first, then surely it is the second most disenfranchised region of this country. The people in the East are, slight competition between probably the North and the East, but the East is really, really, really badly off. So, Buruma, I don't know if you're ready. You can just say hi to everyone as we start. Then we will open up the mics. And also, we're going to keep reminding you guys to retweet the space because, yes, the retweet is going, but we have to invite so many people into this space, and it's going to go on for so long. We pray that it is not disrupted. Yeah, so Buluma is not capable to speak right now. Probably is transiting, but we'll be connecting with him in just a few minutes. Yes, so yes, so I want to first give you an insight because some people might be wondering, what is the east of the country like? What does it look like? And people are always wondering, how many districts, are encompassed in this area. So, with just a Google simple check, you realize that the districts that are categorized in the eastern part of the country are basically Amuria, Budaka, Bududa, Bujiri, Bukedeya, Bukwa, Bulambuli, Busia, Butaleja, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Kabera Maido, Kalaki, Kaliro, Kamuli, Kapchora, Katakwi, Kibuku, Kumi, Kwen, Luka, Manafwa, Mayuge, Mbale, Namayingo, Namutumba, Ngora, Palisa, Serere, Sonko, Sironko, Soroti, Tororo. And that's the small sample, but we know that they have, cut these areas into way smaller denominations and created smaller districts. But these are the major ones that, are considered part of the eastern side. But that aside, we know that when you go and check the statistics of, everything bad in Uganda, for example, the worst schools, like performing schools, the worst performing schools, these areas I've mentioned, you'll find them at the bottom, the Queen, Butebo, Butaleja, those are always on the last side. Like, you don't find them up there, even if it is primary school or secondary school, like, they're always the last in education. And that is not just that. They are the last in, provision of healthcare. They have the worst health facilities, these same areas. And I don't think this is a mistake. I think it is a design. It's designed to be like that because we all know, how the system goes here. But I know we'll have a lot to say about that, and we'll have to really discuss it until the end. So, as my co-hosts, fight to join me, I don't know if it is yes, finally he's a speaker, so I can make him a co-host, and let's see what that transpires into. Buluma, you can hear me now?
You. Sorry about the interruption. Sorry about the interruption. Things have not been easy. You're allowed to log in. Such issues, yeah. But guys should bear with us with those challenges. So Ellen, I've been off trying to come on. What now? William Dada, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but I hear you in bits. James and Suna, can you hear Buluma?
For me, I can hear you loud and clear.
I also hear you, but you're breaking up. You are not stable.
Oh. So what were you saying? Where were you?
So we're saying, we were just, I was only saying that you should introduce yourself and kickstart this already, because we are used to ask for people to request for the mic, but we're just, giving a brief, preamble about, the space.
Oh, thank you, William Dada. Am I clear a bit now?
Yes, you're getting a thumbs up from the rest, so you can go ahead. Probably we'll sort it out as we go.
Thank you, William Dada. Good morning and good evening, wherever we're facing challenges with the network. You know what it means? Yeah. People don't want to hear the truth, but we're here as Easterners to tell the truth about what goes on. We don't know whether we are settled for better or for nothing. Honestly, that's what we need to articulate today. And today we are talking about Eastern region, and Eastern region we are talking about areas like Amuria, Budaka, Bududa, Bugiri, Bukedeya, Bukuo, Bulambuli, Busia, Butaleja, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Karamaido, Butebo, Kaliro, Kamuli, Kapchora, Katakwi, Kibuku, Kumi, Butebo district, Kwen, Wing, Luka, Manafwa, Mayuge, Mbale, Namayingo, Namisindwa, Namuta, Ngora, Palisa, Serere, Sironko, Soroti, Tororo. So I don't know if I've left any. Have I left any? I don't know.
No, those are the ones I could also read, or I could also count. Those are the major ones, but I should say.
Every day comes a district. Anyway, we just come to a village and say, today we are giving you a district. Honestly. Yeah, so anyway, that's the issue. Today we are giving a priority to the Easterners to articulate really what they feel about the regime, accountability, whether they're benefited or not. That's the issue. Thank you very much. Elam Dada.
Yes, thank you, Buluma. I don't know if you're ready with the other package. Some people want to listen to some sounds from the East. If you can do that, it will do us good.
Sorry, there was a network problem, so I thought you were going to play the package. Sorry, there was a network problem. I think we didn't get each other well.
Okay. Probably we'll have that ahead. But for now, guys, we're getting into almost half an hour since we started. So we are going to right now request you guys to continue retweeting this space, and also, if ready, you can pick up the mic. Yes, you can pick up the mic and talk to us. We are basically talking about, I think it is not for only people from the East, of course, even if, you're married from the East. Of course, in Uganda, somehow, you are connected to one region. I'm from the East, but of course I have connections in the Central. I have connections in the West. I have connections in the North. So literally, everyone can speak, about Eastern Uganda. So you're welcome to pick up the mics and talk to us. Dr. James, if you're okay with it, I want you to co-host this space with us. And that will not be bad. Probably would have found a female to co-host with us, but Dr. James, if you're okay with it, hold the fort for now, and let's continue like that. So you can pick up the mic and talk to us and talk to this subject that we have today, Eastern Uganda, and how it has been disenfranchised totally or completely. For me, even more than some of the other regions. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, LM Dada. Before guys come on board anyway, as we're waiting for other members to come, am I loud and clear?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Yes, the president turned 80 years. Were you aware about it, President Yoweri Museveni? He turned 80 years, and we need to wish him belated birthday.
Oh, really?
He came in 1986, and in Kenya, when he came, there was Arap Moi. Then Arap Moi left, he stayed for a while. Then came Kibaki. Then came Uhuru Kenyatta. Then we have Ruto. So I don't know if you compare the development of Uganda and Kenya, how is it anyway? Has the president stayed for the good or stayed for the worse? Anyway, I don't know. Then in Tanzania, he came in 1986. There was Hassan Mwinyi by that time. Benjamin Mkapa, Jakaya Kikwete, Magufuli. I think Magufuli did a tremendous job. We all remember. May his soul rest in peace. Then apparently we have Samia Hassan. So I don't know. Ours has stayed for a while. It's coming to 40 years. Is it for the good or for the worse? So that issue we need to find out anyway. So let's go on. Daddy, thank you for the space.
Yes, thank you, my co-host, Buluma, for that, question that, all of us always have to ponder about, but I'm sure most people here have one very, very clear answer, and but we shall see in the submission. So, before I yield the mic to Comrade James, I also want to reiterate, that for me, my main focus is going to be the health facilities, in Eastern Uganda. I think that's where my focus is going to be. I know people will find other areas of interest. I know people will talk about, the economies. They will talk about the schools. They will talk about so many things. But for me, the health facilities in Eastern Uganda.
LM Dada, sorry for the interjection.
Yes.
Sorry for the interjection, yeah. Where do you come from the East?
I come from Mbale, like Mbale town, like the real, yes, in the town of Mbale. And that is where,
what do you eat there?
Where the regional referral is, like the regional referral hospital. For all these areas we mentioned in Kwen, where all of them come to that one hospital, and it's supposed to be the center of all hospitals. But I was there last weekend, and oh my God, we really need a lot of prayers. And I also visited Budaka. I also visited, there's also a health center 3 in Vumbuku. And, guys, we have a lot of work to do. Yes. So, let me give the mic now to, Dr. Mungadi. Dr. Mungadi, you're welcome.
Good morning, and I'm on the road driving. I hope you can hear me, but I wanted to say I can't co-host because I'm going to the hospital and I'll be between wards and patients. So I can't co-host because my listening is erratic. Sometimes my microphone can deceive you that I'm on. Okay, I keep the microphone on at low volume. When I'm not with the patient, that's when I increase my volume and I listen in. So I can't co-host. But as far as East is concerned, I have shared with you the poverty indicators. You can quote those poverty indicators after from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, which means they're authentic. Then I've shared something on the wealth that the East has, apart from the human resource. I am here in the US. My brother is a surgeon heading a department of surgery in Mulago. And I know quite many resourceful persons of the East who cannot be engaged by the East. According to standing orders, public service, I'm not talking about Bukedi. When I talk about Bukedi, you have mentioned some of the districts. Those districts were cut for administrative purpose as tools of public administration. But the East is said they cannot hire and retain. Yesterday I posted something small on the hiring and retaining. If you saw, I said, hospital where I work, when I go like this, I've left home without breakfast, but I know there's bread in the hospital, I know there's milk in the hospital, I know there's ice cream in the hospital, I know there's coffee, there's sugar, there's soda, everything in the hospital. And those small things attract or can make you get retained, because I can decide to eat from the what you call the galley, the hospital galley. And you go home.
Buluma, do you hear Dr. James or Nze Kanzata Muli?
Yes, I can hear him. I can hear him clearly. He's loud and clear.
I'm hearing all of you. Because network is not a problem on the road here. Network is a problem in Uganda. Because we have network everywhere. So I was telling you about, according to standing orders, public service, the East cannot hire and retain civil servants. So most of our trained, educated people, resourceful persons, go away. I know my brother, normally, as a surgeon, he moves to Soroti, he goes to Amuri, to all those, to do those small districts. As a consultant, he goes there to do work and goes back. He's hired to come and do, he has gone to do surgeries in Tororo. But that's the East. Now, suffice to say, when you hear about the 12 trillion US dollar gold, that gold is from Busia. And that gold is on my grandfather's land included. But I'm here, I normally say I'm a destitute in America, because why would I be driving at 3 a.m. to US in the hospital? So the East has been, people have been made destitute. They have been made destitute so that they can only vote. There's nothing you can expect from Eastern apart from voting. The people who vote Museveni 100% are from the East. Karamoja votes Museveni 100%. It's only Tororo, I think, and Mbale where there has been a bit of resistance. In Mbale, I think you have, the MP, the people by MP, I forget his name. Tororo, I think we have Ekanya. But Busia, all the 5 members of parliament are NRM. So you can see that we are a voter bank and we are home of poverty. When we talk about cement, Tororo cement, if you know what cement does, all roads in Uganda are Tororo cement. I can almost say all houses in Uganda are Tororo cement. Even the Nile Bridge originally was constructed using Tororo cement. But when you want to come to find people who sleep in grass-thatched houses, you come to the East. I normally call those grass-thatched houses as a result of our minds. Our minds are grass-thatched, mud and water brains. Those houses, the grass-thatched houses are mud and water. Grass, mud and water. And so I normally say our minds are mud and water brains, because people don't see they have cement. People don't see they have iron ore. All iron ore almost in Uganda comes from Tororo. If you want to look for places that have grass-thatched houses, you come to the East. The fish, the Nile perch. What else? The Nile perch. It's now mined and a source for India. If a person from the East, from Busia, is caught with a Nile perch, that's a jail sentence, or he will be killed. You have heard how many people are killed on the sea or on the lake. Busoga region, all those places you know it. Talk about Busoga itself as a region. I think number 3 in poverty indicators, if you look at that map, it is Karamoja, Bukedi, and then Busoga. All beauty, including the River Nile, that would be a tourist attraction. That would attract resources to Busoga. It's in Ginger. But what do you see? Busoga is ranked number 3 in poverty. So the East generally has been robbed of everything. You have heard most contributors, if you ask them, mention where you are, you will hardly get somebody contributing that I'm contributing from Tororo. They will either say they're in Kampala. If not in Kampala, one is in the US like me, who has just arrived in the hospital, just driving, in parking. My brother is a surgeon in Mulago. So brain drain is a major issue, because the East is too poor to accommodate, to entertain its resourceful people. I don't see myself staying in Tororo because there's no electricity. In my village of Busia, there's no electricity. I'm somebody who has read a little so that I can have electricity, I can have water. If you come to my village, we only have one borehole. We go to a borehole. I think I have grown up getting water from the borehole for drinking, but if for cooking, we go to the well. There's a river called Kame. There's one stream which is now full of gold dust. The Chinese have contaminated the water. Soon we shall be dying of mercury poisoning because the whole water is now brown. Spill away from the gold mines. And that is almost characteristic of the whole East. The cement industry has also contaminated all water around West Budama. Those rivers are heavily arsenic. But that's the East for you. I think for me that is the start. I'm going to be listening in because I have to log in, and once I log in, I have to go low volume. Nice debate. I have shared I have shared quite a lot. I have cut and shared with Easterners. I hope they'll be able to join and you listen in. That is just a preamble from me. When I get opportunity, I think since this space will be long, I'll be engaging. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. James, for that submission. And guys, you can always check in the comment section. There's always information that is being put by Dr. James particularly. You can have a look at it, and probably you'll learn a thing or two. Also, I would like to add on to that last part of Tororo, because I have been in Tororo for quite some time. I also used to stay around UCI. That's where the Tororo cement factory is almost located. And I am telling you, I literally used to wake up, breathe like covered in dust. And I would imagine how people who have lived there for years are not affected. And then later on, when I was talking to some of the people, they told me, oh, people are getting complications. People are getting respiratory diseases that they don't even understand. People are getting so many things, but no one cares because the factories are partly owned by the state. I'm told so, and I believe so. So thank you, Doctor, for that submission. You can come in again.
Yeah, I just wanted to welcome I have been mentoring young people from the East, and I have one of them on the big resource. He's a young man, one of the few fellas who can debate. One of the few fellas who is a youth. He's a young person. He's called Okumu. Okumu, you pick a microphone. I'm happy that you're there. And Okumu also he's in Imbarara. I hope Okumu, I have quoted you. I've got you right. But he's one of the most vibrant youths I knew from the East. We're always hosted with him on radio. So he's there. I have invited another one called Wafula. Wafula is a major focal person in Busia, and he has seen my WhatsApp message. I hope he'll come. When you see them, let them pick microphones. Wafula is basically the image of Noop. I normally fight with him over Noop. I say, Wafula, say your people power. And I have told him to invite people. So Okumu Raymond, pick a microphone. I am now comfortable that you are there. I can keep quiet because Okumu is a resource. He can speak to the East. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. James. And you're welcome, Okumu Raymond. I followed you. I hope you'll follow back. Guys, when such people come, follow them. Okumu is here, and you can follow him. Okumu, you will pick up the mic when you can. I was also still...
Hello?
Yes, Buluma, now. You can go ahead.
Before Kum comes, allow me play some song
okay,
from Soroti. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Buluma. You can pause for now. Thank you so much. That song is called Emali, Yes, it's from, I think, the Teso side. Yes, and I believe the East, is the region, with, I don't know how to term it, but the cultures are so rich, but somehow they've been covered up, I remember we used to go for national, traditional competition, dance but the dances from the East, and the instruments, the kadodi, and then also the Bagweri dance, and, the dance of the Itesos, bro. The other dances cannot come, close mostly because these ones are so, I don't know if I'm just biased, but I believe, they were always so rich, and I don't know what happened, but most of the things have been broken down. The cultures are not as vibrant as they used to be, and things have gone a bit grey. Yes, but we're here to discuss, and we're going to ask you guys to pick up the mic. Yes, you can pick up the mic. We are expecting Okumu. Okumu, let me send you the mic actually. Let me send you a mic, and we see if you can pick it up, and then be able to, let me invite you to speak. So, guys, don't forget to retweet this space. Make sure you have retweeted. Also, you can also use the comment section to raise your points or direct us. Yes, and there's something important that Florence has mentioned that I had forgotten. In your local languages, when you speak, also use your local language to, invite people to march to Parliament. Especially, we have a date of 9th October that we're going to be using. So, thank you, Florence, for that information. So, guys, you can always use the comment section to go and speak. Florence is also asking an important question. Can the speakers from the East advise on the best way to mobilize the East to rise up on 9th October? Thank you. Yes, that's also a very valid question. Yes, so that's it. We're going to be moving into the comment section to check what is there. So feel free to always come there and give your submission there. Thank you, Florence. So I'm waiting for you guys to pick up the mic when you can. And at the same time, I am going to ask no, I think he has done it already. Yes, he has done it. I'm seeing it there now. I am, Buluma, can you take over? Can you take over for a minute as I finish something up here?
Okay, thank you, Dada. You invited Okumu, but I think maybe he's not ready apparently. Can you hear me? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are clear. Go ahead.
For the
Yeah, the network is fine. Buluma, if you can excuse me a bit, let's listen to Fresh Baba. Fresh Baba is here, Samson Kidia. And he has already told us he's a man from Butebo, Butebo, yes. Those are almost my in-laws, Yes, so, Fresh Baba, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, host LM Dada, co-host Buluma, Dr. Mungadi, MP, the good girl, and all comrades who are here now and those ones who are coming. I salute you all and I greet you. I want to thank you for this opportunity again. And we thank God that we are here to share our grievances as Ugandans, as Easterners. Allow me, first of all, introduce myself in my language. Banaye, and Mugwere, district Buteboba yali formerly yabaire Parisa, one district naye ngawe mumaite ente regime egezaako okutematemamu district sezenjawulo okusobola okweri aba MP basobola okubityawo ebyataka ngaiye. So ne Parisa bagitemeremu baizire bagitematema ke district egyeraku kubanga nga mumaite like ba Easterners twalinaje betanga Bukedi headquarters jalinga Tororo nga ni district etwala jonyona Bukedi region. So baizire batematemamu paka okutukana lwati nenga intention yacho tinti bataka anti batukulakulanye naye nga jasi bataka anti beje namba ngawe mukimaite ento parliament okubityawo kyoncho nache bataka jasi bawanika mikono ne babala namba enamba esingiro bungi ekyo ekiteeso niye kibitawo. So amalina ninzo Kiria Samson nzo Butebo district igombolola Kabwangasi nze nkulire mukyalo na izire Kampala jasi kunonya mbeera nga mumaite nti ewaiso embeera tinsa. So buli muntu ayiruka n'abaja asobola okunonerya embeera okutereera ng'ona Dr. Mungadi ali mu US abandi bali omu mawanga g'enjawulo naye ensonga tukikola lw'ensonga nti tunonya okusobola okusustainingira embeera tinti tutaka ino okuzowa iswe naye lw'embeera etali ntuufu etufuusinga okuzwayo ewaiswe ne tunonya okusobola okutambulya obulamu. So banange abagwere bomona bali kuno ku space eno niyo essaawa swenswena okuzwayo tuwoleke nti twegaita nga tulwanisya embeera etutyemeka emyaka 4 n'okusoba buli muntu ali ano oku myaka gy'olimu nsuubira bingi ebyo izirewona nga tebitambula nakusani omu myaka gino gyonyona gye tukuliremu so kani akaseera nti ebiseera bingi tubaire twesiga ino abana byabufuzi nga tulowooza nti ndowooza niyo abatuukyawo ettaka oba niyo abatuukya ku Uganda buli muntu gyeyagaliramu naye nga essaawa gino wetuukire kiboneka nti abana bufuzi tube balya kale paati gye baplayingire ku ngayiro naye swena nga bannayuganda basigaire tulina okuplayinga paati yaiswe era tulina okusetuka tukyuse embeera etambula omumaiso obeera b'omumaiso mu nsi yaiswe so wetusirika saa gino twakuba n'ebibuuzo bingi eri abaana baiswe twakuba n'ebibuuzo bingi eri abaizukulu baiswe nti niki kye twakolerewo nga tuwona igwanga liwaawo ne tusirika usiriki so okusobola okwewala ebibuuzo oti ni ebyo mbeere nsaba saa gino tusetuke tukwatiraamo nga igwanga otali okweyawulamu nti diini otali kweyawulamu nti amawanga ag'enjawulo wawula okubaamu nga bannayuganda era balumirirwa ensi yaabwe ne tusetuka ne tukoba nti kino kirina okukyusa kino tulina okitereeza ebiseera bino nga we muli kuwona ekyaba omumaiso ospiika w'epalamenti eriku gye beeta palamenti ya 11 oba 11th parliament ospiika aliku yenaazwa mu Eastern Uganda naye nga we mumaite ente regime izange ekozesa abantu ab'enjawulo okutuukirira ebigendererwa byabwe erondamu abantu bemusuubira nti bano niye betuyinza okwemereraku niye abayinza otukulembera mu kino niye abayinza otutuukira ku kino ne balondamu ne bacompromisinga ne bakozesa okutuukirira selfish interests byabwe so essaawa gino bali kukozesa ospiika omukyala Anita Among mukyala Muteso azwa Bukedea in fact Bukedea neighboring district yange so we are neighboring districts just singa ona Mbale so naye azwa mu Eastern kale niye essaawa gino omuntu gwe bali kukozesa okuba nti abityawo interests ya dictator okuwoneka nti ate ayonoona ebintu ebyandiyambire abannayuganda bayinaye ebyandiyambire ngaba Easterners ne tuwoneka nti at least swena nga betulina nti speaker alwaine n'okuwoneka nti ba Easterners waliwo ebikyukire waliwo ebituukirewo yes like abantu azemu Bukedea bayinza okutukoba nti tuzimbire idwaliro azimbire ekisaba azimbire ne mwijukire nti ebyo ebintu tibya public ebyo ebintu bibyengo muntu so tutaka ebintu ebiri public nti buli muntu asobola kinyumirwamu kubanga ebyo ebintu byazimbire yes bisa bireete service omu kitundu naye bi benefiting inonga iyo muntu ne family kubanga bibye biri malinage tebiri malinaga public nti oba idwaliro lya public oba isomero lya public nti osobola okutwalayo mwana nasomera kubanga lya government so ebyo bintu byakolere ngaye ebyo bintu bibye so tutaka ekintu ekyokukolera abantu bombona wekiba nti ukolera bannayuganda no bakolera nga bombona nga buli muntu munnayuganda asobola okukola niki okifunamu so essaawa gino engeri gye bali nti bali mukozesa ate nga obuzibu bwe tulina nti bannayuganda we don't learn from the previous mistakes or from the mistakes done by other people nti abantu bangi bebayizirenga bakozesa mu bintu ebyenjawulo naye namaliriranga ate bamulekere omumbeera tali ntuufu abantu bakukyayire abantu kugira nsigala nga yo isolated naye ate munaye wasigala ngera wavaayo bazwayo abandi abataka okukozesebwa mu ngeri oti niyeyo timaite oba kiza bakuba nti bannayuganda balina ino omululu gw'essente oba tebafaayo kuba naawe oba tebalumirirwa ensi yaabwe timaite lwaki abantu tutuukira mu mbeera oti niyeyo naye ndowooza kaniya kaseera abannayuganda bazwiremu kuba nti balingirira bulingirire kyabwe mu maiso naye nga tulina kusetuka twekwatiremu comrades I'm sorry I might have taken long but I was at home and I'm at home now so I needed to use my language at least to communicate to my people those ones who are here and those ones who are not here yet so that to know that at least we have a representative as I said I represent people from Butembo I'm Mugwere and those are my names as I say
Fresh Baba, who is your MP in Butembo? Has he performed or not?
Actually, I even don't know my MP because I've even never seen him. He doesn't do anything, and I can't tell you I know him. I don't know him. So bro, that's the kind of people we have.
I think it's the same situation I have because last time I checked, they cut the constituency into two. So I don't know if I am, on the left or on the right. I'm somewhere in the middle. So I look like I have two MPs. So I wouldn't fault you if you didn't know your MP.
So that's the kind of situation we are living in because but anyway, thank you very much. Let me submit for now and give space for other comrades to submit. Thank you so much. I salute you.
Yo, thank you so much. Suria Kukoiza, Fresh Baba Kidia. Yeah, man. From Butembo.
Thank you, Elam Dada. Yeah. We the Bantu can hear each other. I can hear Lunyankole. I can hear Luchiga. I can know what Mugwere is talking about, That's the interesting bit about us, the Bantu. but other people as well anyway. Yeah, go on, Eme. Thank you.
Yeah, so so thank you so much, Fresh Baba, for that submission. Guys, welcome to the space. Welcome. Don't get tired to put a lot of information in the comment section. It's probably an article you know about Eastern Uganda, or something that you need, a video that you want some people to watch about Eastern Uganda. Just put it in the comment section. People will come through and respond or react to it. For now, let me unleash, Okumu Raymond. Unmute and talk to us, sir. Okumu, if you're speaking, you need to first unmute your mic. Oh, he's off. You've dropped your mic, Okumu. You can request for the mic, or let me simply invite you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. You can go right ahead.
Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you.
This is Raymond Okumu, as James William introduced. I live in Marara and I work in Marara, and I'm from Tororo. I'm deeply honored to be part of this space for continued quest for Ugandan freedom on the hands of a violent regime like NRM 7's regime.
Okumu, if you're speaking, you've muted your mic. You have muted your mic.
You get me?
Yes. Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
I think network. Hello?
Okumu, I see you muting your mic.
Hello?
Here. You are muting your mic. Yes, you
I
can
have
go
3
ahead.
points to put across. One is for people of Eastern Uganda. As Eastern, when you sit down and look at what we had in Eastern Uganda, the GDP, what I'm talking about, before 1986, if you are very, very critical, you'll realize that our GDP was more than any other region in this country. You remember Jinja was the most industrialized town in Uganda. Tororo was there, Mbale was there. Then you put in the cooperatives that were in parts of the whole entire Eastern and the rest of the country. You realize our GDP was more than any other part of any other region in Uganda. And so, Eastern was on top of this country. Then the systematic destruction of wealth started with the regime, NRM. Systematically, as James said, Eastern has been reduced to second poorest. And this is something that everybody should take hold of. And not only Eastern. The whole entire country is like this. So that is the history about Eastern I can give you. For example, Busoga, you'll find Busoga is suffering with generators for more than a month. There's no electricity. And Busoga, Eastern was the first region to see the manufacture of electricity. So these are issues. That is history about Eastern. The second history I want to give it is finding out the methodology to deal with this regime. It has failed Ugandan positions for nearly coming to 50 years, actually, the age of NRM since 1986. We have talked and talked of lost people who talk like we are talking today, but then they never got the method that works, the sharp blade that can strike this regime. They did not arrive at it. I will give you some historical knowledge. During the unification of Germany, a saying came that, the god of battle shall throw the dice that will determine the destiny of Germany. And the Germans took arms against the French masters, and they got their freedom. I'm giving you another one in South Africa. Nelson Mandela spearheaded the liberation of South Africa against apartheid. Of course, he wanted the society that every South African can have. You see, a society that is democratically elected and everybody is inclusive. That was his ideology. But he used the words of the mouth for so long, and in 1990, he decided to go to Ethiopia. Now, his aim to go to Ethiopia was to have change of course in quest for freedom against apartheid regime. He was in in Ethiopia, he was trained and given an offer of a pistol. he went back to South Africa and created the ANC military wing. And if you remember, the apartheid regime took many South Africans to prison, and some were killed by hanging. And some of the South Africans who were fighting for freedom in South Africa were given to say last words in the docks, in the courtroom. And they said, we shall fight and fight and fight until freedom is given to all South Africans. Now, when Nelson went back to South Africa and created ANC military wing, the apartheid regime then sat down and said, remember the words of the South Africans in the courtroom, that we shall fight, we will fight and fight until we shall get freedom and even liberate you, the apartheid masters. When the apartheid regime remembered that, they realized the only way is to sit down with the majority South Africans, the black majority South Africans, and decide on South Africa getting independence. And hardly 3 years, of course, 1994, South Africa got independence. Now, Nelson also made a quotation as well. He said, never confront a violent regime defenselessly. South Africans made mistakes for so many years, questing for freedom from apartheid regime defenselessly. That, I bring that now to your attention, that we need to change the course of questing for freedom in this country. In the last meeting, Dr. James William Geni brought in a conversation that should be taken seriously, that there is something wrong somewhere with us. There's something wrong somewhere with Ugandan opposition politicians, or most importantly, those who quest for freedom. And I want to say, that thing that is wrong with Ugandans who are questing for freedom today is they have never arrived at a method that works against a regime, a violent regime like this one. This is a very heavy conversation that every Ugandan who thinks about freedom, the debate should be around there. Which methodology do we use? Which mechanism do we use? It's a very heavy conversation that has defeated opposition politicians right from 1986 up to today, who have never got a blade, the sharp blade that can strike this regime to the grave, who have never got. I'm just new here, and that is my, I would say, my contribution for today. But let's think about, I would also give you some history. Those who are here, you knew very well that Dr. Milton Obote was in Kenya as the chairman of trade union at the time of the colonization of Africans. He was part of the Mau Mau. He's the one who mobilized the workers in Kenya to support Mau Mau, that kind of thing. And then when he saw that in Tanzania, Nyerere was fighting for the colonization of Tanzania. In Kenya, Mau Mau had been formed. Then he said, let me run to Uganda. But before he ran to Uganda, he first identified Ugandans, and then they created one thing. And what they created, they called it Central Fund. This Central Fund helped them and binded them together. And how did it help them? Movement, the costs, and so on, mobility, And this Central Fund kept on their ideologies to move forward. And this is one of the things that we need, because if we do not, everything thrives on fund, of course. So let's think and let's debate around finding a method that works. When you look at Uganda today, as Dr. James has said, Ugandans are destitutes. Destitutes that they are begging, they don't have resources to propel and to push for their freedom. But also I will give you hope that usually the peasants are the mothers of the revolution. The poor, the mother of the revolution, only and only when there is proper leadership. The poor will never be the mother of revolution amid its no leadership. It is the leadership that will make the poor become the mother of the revolution, because the leadership needs to give them direction. Thank you so much. I'm also on duty, as James said, and I just sneaked out to say this. Wish everybody well, and
Okay,
shall continue the conversation.
Before you go on,
Thanks.
before you go off, Okomo, before you go off, I have a question. Are you on still? Hello? Dada, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but
Yeah, I wanted, is Okomo still on? I wanted to ask him a question.
ask your question. He will answer. You can ask now.
Anyway, I wanted, apparently we have a very serious problem that came up last week, the electoral reforms. What can you talk about it, and how can we encounter it? Thank you. And then, Dada, try to accept other Fresh Baba. I'm trying to add him and I'm failing.
Okay. Thank you, Buluma, and thank you, Okumu, for sparing those few minutes and sharing with us. We really appreciate. And I hope you've picked up on Buluma's answer. And when you get the opportunity to speak, just raise up your hand and we'll be able to give you the mic. Thank you so much for your submission. Dr. James, I see your hand up. You can unmute and talk.
I just wanted to say I'm starting to work in the next a quarter past 4, so it's 9 minutes past 4. But I wanted to thank Okumu, and somebody one time asked me that somebody who asked me one time a question, I think on this wall, that what has been my contribution. I have shared with you there a picture of me and Okumu. Okumu is that young man with the black shirt. Almost every young person around me speaks like Okumu. Next, I have seen Wafula. Wafula has come in. Wafula has been in the studio. When I shared with him, said I'm right now in the studio. And that's what we do, and that's what they do. So I want Wafula also to pick a microphone. I might not listen to Wafula, but Wafula is a key kingpin in Busia when it comes to Noob. Although I have often disagreed with him, but as a young man, he is the unifier in Busia. He's one of those stronghold people you can rely on. But the younger people around me, in that picture I've shown you, I think one died, one is within the United States here. The other one has picked arms. He's armed. He's armed against us. He moves with guns. He moves with a gun. And that's how Museveni penetrated my camp. My camp consisted of young people in the East. And we speak the same language. Any young person, the other one, in fact, one became a lawyer, and he's an NRM lawyer. After we sponsored, we had him have education. I have 2 lawyers. I remember one I told you is unemployed. One is employed, but this one is a judge or whatever. I don't know what you call them. He sits in the high court. He's the one who recently, you guys were not yet speaking. He's the one who recently who sentenced young people in Jinja who are playing football. And I was very mad with him. I told him, how do you get young people who are picked from the field and you are under me and you sentence those young people? I was mad with him, and I think we don't speak up to this day. So, as young people, if you listen to Okumu, he's not only a debater, and he offers the other side of a violent, not a violent, but a struggle, an armed struggle, if it be. And this is what you want to hear from young people, that you must not fear Museveni. If he chose a violent path, he cannot fight anymore. I am old to pick a gun, by the way. I'm old, but I can give ideas. And I'm not saying that pick guns now. But if it is the option that Museveni puts before you, it is an option that you must not fear. Because the Constitution calls you to sacrifice, to defend the Constitution. And the Constitution sometimes defended with arms. If Museveni is abrogating and abusing the Constitution, the young people should rise up. That's what I wanted to say, and I'm happy. Like my day is made when I can see somebody from my credo debating. So I'm expecting Wafula also to pick a microphone. He's in the gallery. He told me he was in the studio, and I told him invite all the people from the studio to come and listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mungadi. I think you resonate. I've just read Dr. Besige's article, and he's mad. He's saying Article 3. We should just invoke Article 3 and take over. And yes, I see the request from Wafula George. Thank you for joining the space. But for now, let's first listen to Muj Martin. You're welcome, Muj.
Thank you, LM Dada. Thank you, Buluma. And yes, today's space is Eastern. I always tell people that I was raised by a single mom, and I'm proud to associate myself with her origin. So, batu bembale, batu besironko, mwesizana n'abakesereko, abantu bebududa n'abakesereko, anamba sendi bula muhe buchenda nga wera kan ne sawa yosizana ibintu binashuha mube ni kamani muha mukamanita musigale ni gamani bitu binaterera. So I really want to delve in issues Easterners have raised here. I'm a Gen Z, but soon approaching to be a millennial. Okay. In between, I would say so. But there's something that I've read and I've come to realize that the whole Eastern region, when you look at the Teso sub-region, they had cattle. And then when they had cattle, the war, the LRA war came in, and somehow the Teso people raised and fought back the LRA. For those people who have read, if you remember the likes of the Arrow Boys, that was a camp that was actually being managed by the likes of Etweru and the other guys, the Mukulas, and that's how those people managed to fight back the LRA. But in that course, they lost their cattle. And people say the cattle were being transported by the same military that at the time was saying that they were trying to fight the remnants. Now that's Teso sub-region. You go to Karamoja region, the gold. The people are languishing in poverty while their minerals are being taken away. The first period these guys created, when the first lady called Janet was minister for Karamoja region, imagine what happened in that region till to date. They do not benefit from what they have. They are very rich in gold, very rich in lime, marble, all that. But they don't benefit as a region. You come to the Bugisu sub-region. I mean, Bugisu was known for having the coffee, Bugisu Cooperative Union, and they were dealing in Arabic coffee. Yes, it has tried to stay on, apparently, when you compare to other cooperatives, but still, they're also struggling, you know. The people, I'll keep saying this. The problem with Easterner has the most dealer leaders. There's no region that cuts deals like the Easterners, but they are the most selfish people from all the regions. When you go to Teso region, you look at the Mukulas, you look at the Cherus, you look at the Anita Mong, they're the most dealers and yet the most corrupt and most selfish. They don't develop the region. And these are the people who have kept the regions not developing. Go to Bugisu. You have the likes of Nandala Mafadi, very extremely rich, but very highly also corruptible. Like he's very corrupt. All he can do is give people fuel when campaigns reach. I mean, so funny, these guys, how they take the masses. The same thing, go to Busoga region. Busoga has a lot of kingpins. It has Mama Kadaga, it has all that. But what benefit have they helped their people? Nothing. All they do is go to boast around having positions, but nothing. And at the end of the day, that is how Museveni has managed to rule Uganda. It's through a Trojan horse. You penetrate an institution, you penetrate people, then you pick out a few elements that can silence those people from mass rising. I can tell you guys, if the whole of Eastern region is well mobilized, whether violently or what, it will not take them to liberate this country. Because naturally, from what I've read and what I've seen in the past, these are warriors. They are warriors, and they've just been managed to be silenced because of the Trojan horse 7 plays. Penetrate a society, pick out a few elements, silence the voices of the majority, and that's it. That's how you kill the spirit. Come to Busoga. You know, Busoga was the industrial town, especially Jinja. The guy comes in, stops people from fishing, those in the areas of Luka, the other side near the lake. He gazettes the lake, stops them from fishing, he controls it, comes to the sugarcane, encourages them to go into sugarcane farming. Then afterwards, he monopolizes it, and now sugarcane is they're being cheated. Like, how can a whole lorry, the last time I had a whole lorry of sugarcanes at 1 million shillings, and yet they sell it to those industries, yeah, the metas and all that, who in the long run make huge profits. So when these people try to say something, they are silenced. You know, economically, when you look and assess all this, it's an intended plan by the system to keep people in poverty. Once you keep people in poverty, then you can control them. It's the same thing with the education. It's the same thing with the health. You limit a number of people from accessing quality education so that you have a gullible society you can easily influence. That's why even on these platforms like the Twitters, the X, you see how gullible our people are with stupid diversions, nudity, and all that stuff that is intended for people to debate on and forget about the real national issue. That's the system. That's what it wants. And then get a few influencers, a few people who can drive their narrative, and then give them some few scrums and change the society. That is all planned. It's not by mistake. It's planned. It's why the Eastern region is suffering that way. You know, the Eastern region has leaders who, if they have to with the junta, they choose to eat with the system, keep the voices of the majority of the people who would actually rally up and come together and say enough to this. Because I can tell you guys, yesterday I was hearing someone who brought in, I think it was in the space of Empty Suna. Someone was saying, no, you see, this whole thing is about foreign policy. We chase away the Americans. And that is bullshit. You chase away the Americans and then what? Who is stealing people's land? Is it the American Home 7 or his people? Who are we still going to go and attack the Americans that are the ones stealing our money? And someone has said, no, because they're the ones being from. No, we are using basic knowledge, guys. The people stealing and grabbing people's lands are not anywhere from another continent. They are people from here. Okay? The people stealing our money are people from here. Yeah? So how do you tell me to go and attack an American who has donated, let's say, $30 million, to probably you, who is supposed to utilize it to benefit your community, but you have not done it so, and then you expect me that I'm going to leave that and focus on a foreigner. And that's what Museveni likes doing. Every time there's something, he drives that narrative of foreign agents, foreign what? No. These are the realities. Let's speak to the realities. Who are the people controlling our economies in Uganda now? When you go to gold, you hear that. You hear the name of Saleh, Sigi Sodo. So you see what? When you go to steel, the people in Ruera, in the sand sector, you get to hear still the same people, the same clique. Yeah? When you get to land, it's the same clique. When you get to the minerals, it's the same clique. When you get to the industries, it's the same clique. So how do you again want to say that you want people to focus on foreigners? Let's deal with the people at home here. Then we will sort with the foreigners first. So me, I don't go with that narrative someone was trying to raise that we go for the West, what. No. For the West, it's not the West who is stealing the money. It's not the West who is found in fraud and all that. For us, we are dealing with the issues at home. The people in Eastern are suffering because of the same people who are jeopardizing the economy, both in East, in Central, West, and even in the South. So there's no way we are going to say we can do away with the reality that we have to overhaul the system. Because anyone who thinks that maybe we should ask for change, but within, there's nothing. You don't ask for change within. Yeah? Anybody who thinks of that okay, maybe we look for another NRM person. No. This system is gagged. It's a cake. We need new wine, not old wine. And that's how we need it, by mobilizing people to rise up. Yeah? Dr. James was talking about other methods, yes, which are provided in the Constitution. It's just that Ugandans don't really take time to understand the Constitution. That's why when someone mentions the other method, people get, no, don't talk about it. But it's also in the Constitution. It's the reality. You get it? But for now, let's focus on how do we mobilize our people to come to the streets. Okay? How do we tell the people of Mbali? How do we tell the people of Bukedea, where Among comes? How do we tell the people from Bukedi, from Busoga, from all over? How do we rally them to come together and we fight a common enemy? You know? But if we cannot get to realize that our leaders in those regions are the biggest problems. Because one, they're just dealers. They're the biggest dealers. Let me tell you, people talk of Westerners, but if people from East are the biggest dealers, they deal a lot. That's why you find someone like Bukula. But the way he has dealt in so many things, you even ask yourself and wonder, how does this person get to acquire all this? It's because they're just dealers. You look at the Mapabis, you look at all those people. You look at Among, number one dealer. That's what everybody now knows. But we have to put those people aside. We have to say enough to those leaders and let's focus on mobilizing. We, the people. Mobilize people. Every time you go somewhere, try to rally people. If we cannot rally them here, rally them in the villages. Posts, flyers, everything. Let's find ways to rally people to rise up on 9th October. Because if we do not do this now, you see those electoral reforms that are coming. You see how people are trying to wash it away like that. That's the same way the other things have been happening. The age limit, the term limits, everything has been coming like that. Museveni is the person who tests the waters and then goes back and says, what's their reaction? The moment he sees nothing is coming out, then he sends it in full swing. So what are we going to do? This time, when the cabinet approves it and it has to go to parliament, which we know definitely it will go through, are we going to watch it happen and we just fold our hands? Is that the thing we are going to keep saying, okay, we are watching? Last time, when they did that, at least some MPs, even His Excellency Bobby Wine, they showed us what they could do. This time, if our MPs, of course, we know they will not do much. What are we the people doing? What are we the people from Ankole, from West, from North, from South? Why can't we have a common rallying point and say, okay, people from Barara, rise up. People from Bale, rise up. People from Bukedea, rise up. Like, that is the message we should be preaching, guys. We want people to come to the streets. If they don't come, then we are going to be like North Korea. Me, I'm seeing us heading the North Korean way, not even the Russian way, the North Korean way. The moment this thing goes through, and trust me, it will be hell. You see that chasing away people from their land. You go and buy a piece of land, yeah? You even buy air or gulane. Like in Uganda, everything is a scam. You have to go through a lot of scrutiny to make sure that the thing is yours. Like, what country is that, guys? You buy something, you're not even sure it's yours, because the next minute you might hear but it's all because of this stupid system, guys. Now, if you're going to think that we can only change a few changes within the system, no. If we want better, let's call people to the streets. Let's rally, because it's all part of the Constitution. Everyone, the Constitution says you have the moral authority and right to rise up and defend it. Once you see it being like destroyed, like people are not adhering to it. So the solutions to Busoga, the solutions to Tororo. You imagine Tororo has the most spin doctor. Ofono. But what does he do? What has he done for the people of Tororo? The Saro Pendis, what have they done for the people of Tororo? Yeah? What have they done? Nothing. Just speaking good English, knowing that, they know how to articulate politics. No, this is not about politics, man. This is about the future of the country. This is about making things right in this country. If we do not make these things right, the way we are struggling right now, it's going to be hard for even our kids to struggle in the next 20 years or 30 years. because this is well intended. One, to make us slaves in our own country, to make us poor in our own country, and to make us be people without belonging. Because you imagine, how does a foreigner come and acquire a lot of basic needs of life here in Uganda? They have so many rights than the indigenous people. Go to the areas of Bunga. Go to the areas of Kansanga. It's the foreigners running the show down there. They own land, they own houses, they watch. But what's happening to the common person? Rwandese come, they enjoy everything. A Rwandan person has the right to have 2 passports. They can have accommodation here, they can have accommodation in Rwanda. I know people don't talk about these things, but these are the realities. As a Ugandan, can you also go and access land in Rwanda? Now, can you? But we are watching these things happening to us. We are watching these things happening in Uganda region. People are thinking, hey, that's just in Uganda. Now it's in the northern region. And Easterners are quiet. Very soon it will reach the eastern region. You will see people's land being grabbed. It will get also to the west. Last time we saw a video of Sambalalo in the west who are complaining about it. And people might think it's just talk, but it's a reality, guys. If we do not overhaul this thing and put it to an end and start a new beginning, we have no future. We have no lugendo. Tugenda kusigala twogera oluzungu, twogera strategies, twogera biki, naye nga tetulina lugendo. And that's where this guy wants us. He will always come, get a few people, buy them off, even in our spaces here. You know? That's why we said we are leaderless, we are partyless, because we don't want to be identified that we are a leader of something, because you can easily be compromised. None of us is immune to temptation. Even me who's talking here might be talking too much, and then the guy is like, okay, now what are you upping? He gives you like a billion shillings. What are you going to say? But how do we fight that? We fight that by not identifying ourselves as individuals. Let's rally the masses. Our message shouldn't be about the sender or who is holding the message. It should be, what does the message say? That's why our rallying point should be. The message is rally the people. Not, I it's the good guy, I Dr. James who's there, that's when I'll go for it. No. Let's focus on the message. We want change. We want change. We want change. And we want it now. We can't have it now. Man, I don't see us anywhere. Maybe a few people who are connected to the system will survive, because they are surviving for the fittest. But trust me, if we want a country where everyone matters, where a child of a poor can go and acquire the same education like that of the rich and compete for the same job market, then we have to change. But if we want where someone in Gambanogo, you have made a phone call, and then for you've tried to go through the right channels and you fail it. I mean, guys, if we want to get the simplest basic needs of any person in Uganda, for a good health system, for better roads, for a better working conducive environment, for a good favorable business environment, whereby even if someone had 100,000 shillings, the business environment is favorable for them to start up and thrive and push on, then we can make Uganda be the America that people admire to go to. And this can be achieved. It can be achieved because we have people who have traveled. Some people in spaces here have traveled. People have seen that some things are not rocket science. They can easily be implemented. We just have to get off this system and create the Uganda we want. Thank you. Thank you, Easterners. The people from Matesoch, Yalama Noi, the people from Busoga, Baba, Tusanga Irenyo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin, for your submission. Buluma, I don't know if you're ready.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, my co-host. Thank you, my co-host Buluma, for that. Bagisi bose ngowulire kado toti pa winyuka wakinam. Yeah, thank you all. And most of these sounds that we hear are tools that we have to pick up and use, because in Bugisu, when you hear Kadodi, you just have to, you cannot see it when the band is passing, when they're playing, that sound. You really have to stand up and dance. And this is the time for us to rise up, and not just dance, but also talk to the corrupt and tell them that, what, enough is enough. We are tired of your nonsense. Because truth be told, not just Eastern Uganda, but all parts of Uganda would be so rich, would be having good health care, would be having good roads, good infrastructure. But we know that the scourge of corruption, perpetuated by the current regime, is the biggest.
Elam Dada, I can't hear you. I don't know if any other member too. Show me a samba.
Yeah, we can hear Buluma, but Adam that I think went mute.
Sorry, I think Elam Dada is having issues.
Yeah.
Before Edwin and then Mugisha comes in, have a problem with the poverty line. I think guys need to analyze that side. Then guys also need to tell us about the state of prisons in that part of the east also. Then how are the schools that side also? Yes, okay, let's have Fresh Baba. Edwin and then Mugisha. Fresh Baba, you want to say something?
No, you can give those ones who have not yet submitted. Then I'll come in later.
Then after you come in later. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Because there is Edwin, there is Mugisha, and the rest.
Okay, thank you very much, Buluma, for the opportunity given to me. Sometimes I be there and I'm like, I'm not going to speak today, let me be in listeners, but something itches my throat and I end up coming up to speak. It really disturbs, and I know people are tired of my voice, but take heart. For me, I even told this guy, the head of CID at Parliament, one time we were in a conference and he told me, one time you will keep quiet in arrogance. I told him I will not stop speaking. I will speak and speak until I'm buried. That was my submission to him. And he told me, come and we talk. And I told him I will speak until my breath is out. So you will forgive me for that. For me, I'm going to say two things. I'm not going to take a lot of time. And first of all, we are discussing Eastern region. Eastern region has suffered a lot of things because we are in all parts of Uganda and also in Eastern region. These people from the government have created their own dynasties and small kingdoms where you have chiefs and their families. For example, Mukula and the team, they have their chiefdoms in Eastern region, whereby they dictate what happens. That's why you will find the kind of Kalangwa, the likes of who.
Thank you guys for coming back on such a short notice. Really, really sorry about the previous space. So I had to literally change my line. I had to remove and put another line because and I think they disrupted the space. We're so sorry about that. We are now good to go. Yes. Just take a good into abantu bannaye baba badde ekisimanyi nakumanya naye nga I welcome you back all. So what we do is let's retweet this space. Let's retweet it as much as we can so that people can reconnect back here and we continue. Last time I remember it was I think Mujesi Martin is the one who had just submitted, and yeah. So welcome back. My co-host, I don't know if you're ready to do what you do best, but you can take it away now as we wait for other people to join the space.
Thank you, Elam Dada. Sorry about what happened. Anyway, it was expected. Because for me, I was off since yesterday at 8. That's an unfortunate bit. I even didn't know I would be on. Yes, I just changed the password. And that's what enabled me to be on. So guys, you forgive us. We're in the struggle, remember? Yeah, so this is expected. So it was Mugisha who was on, and before Mugisha, comes, I think let's have fresh back. Let me organize myself with appreciating culture, music, and culture. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Buluma. I welcome Kabad Mouth. Yes, Kabad Mouth, you're most welcome. You can unmute and talk to us, Bridget.
Actually, I pressed it by mistake, but I welcome you all. Thank you very much for coming, and I'm ready to listen for now.
Okay. But trust me, it's not just a plain mistake. You were meant to talk to us, and good that we've had your voice. When you're ready to speak, please don't be shy. Pick up the mic and talk to us when you're ready. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much. Kabad Mouth. What a nice name. Okay. Abraham Paddy. Oh, it's been a long time, bro. Talk to us.
Okay. Hello, guys. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, according to our areas, respective areas. Can I confirm that you're hearing me?
Yes. You're clear.
Yeah, I'm Abraham today, and I also happen to be an Eastern guy. I come from Tororo. Previously, we have had many guys from Tororo here. Very many guys. I've had very many guys from Tororo. Doctor is not here right now, but Doctor started telling us. He always tells us things happening in Tororo and that side of Eastern side. Yeah, we thank you guys for the space, for the Eastern space today. I'm also at work, but right now I'm in a bit of a break, so I get also some little time to say something. Yeah, currently I'm not in Uganda, but of recent I visited home. I come from Tororo, the other side. Like LM Dada is LM Dada. Like you don't know your MP. You're not alone actually. So when I heard that, I had to contact a brother of mine home. I told him what is the name of our MP exactly, and he gave me a name because Tororo as a district. I found out that after the division that was there and everything, we also have what is called counties. We have counties. So the Itesos in Tororo have a county that is Tororo South. Is it Tororo South County? So that was also another what? That's also another MP there. And then the Bdama side also has an MP there. All right. So doctor was telling us that Ekanya, I was talking about Ekanya earlier on. Ekanya, I think, is no longer the MP of Tororo because from the western side, from the Tororo South, it's my brother told me because I had to contact him and find out who's the MP of Tororo, who is in the Iteso side, and that is a guy called Frederick like that. Yeah. So that means their MP is in Tororo, and he's also an NRM guy. Before Kenya was not an NRM guy because he was taking I think the whole of Tororo, and right now their counties, different counties with the different MPs. This one is in Tororo South, and then the other one we have another one of is it the Budama, Western Budama, something like that. So I also want to speak something concerning our region. Our region, just like the statistics said, that our region has the poorest people in the country. The poorest people, poorest education, poorest healthcare, almost poor in everything. Even I don't know, our district, our region has been reduced to our people have been reduced to only begging. If you talk of begging, that's what they know best. Okay, that's what they know best. Begging, drinking. Mostly the Itesos like drinking. A guy wakes up in the morning, the only thing he knows is drinking. You know, leaves the family, goes to the bar. That is drinking right from morning up to evening. So there is no any way of developing yourself, of getting something to develop yourself, or getting something to raise up and support your family. You know, now if they hear that you have money or something, if they hear that you're around, that's when they will come out and try to ask for something. So our youths in Eastern, they don't know anything other than begging and drinking. Okay, when it comes to that, they are very good at that. So this is how the government has reduced us to. And the MPs, our MPs, the only thing they know is when it comes to election time, that's when they come in and deceive people. What do they deceive people with? Deceive people with salt. Deceive people with. There's a time I was there and I had an MP promising a saucepan, a big saucepan that cooks for occasions in the district. So I'm like, what is the use of a saucepan? A saucepan. How is the saucepan going to help me when I'm sick? How is the saucepan going to help me when my children can't go to school? You know, before we used to have cash crops that used to help us. You know, for some of us have grown doing these things. For example, when it comes to cotton, Tororo, we used to have cotton because I remember we used to grow this cotton, pick up the cotton. And you know, cotton, you do grow cotton with other crops in it, mixing it up. And then afterwards you pick up the cotton. Cotton used to give money to the people. People used to, you know, these days we don't want to if you come to modern families and everything, they don't want to give birth to kids, many kids and what. But those days, our parents used to give birth to many of us. Why? Because it used to be like something like a wealth to them. Because when it comes to digging or picking cotton or tobacco, this is how they used to get. This is how they used to evolve themselves. This is how they used to feed themselves, take us to school, and also provide other things that we used to what. Other things that are needed, okay? But these days, there is nothing like that. Cotton has been reduced, I think. It's no longer there. Cotton has been no longer there. Well, tobacco is not there at all, because when I went there, because those days, we used to have houses where we used to smoke the tobacco in, okay, before it is, cashed out, but these days, there's nothing. When the last time I went there is nothing, I'm in Dubai. I also come in sometimes and check home. How is it? What is going on at home? But the last time I came in, there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. There was nothing like a cotton or something like that. There's nothing like that. So our people have been reduced to totally nothing. And when you tell them of change, they are green like green. They don't know anything. Okay. The only thing they know is yellow. The only thing they know is NRM. The only thing they know is Museveni. Why? Because he comes and deceives them with little things, little gift, little money. They line them up to receive 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings here in Dubai. Let me see. 2,000. That is two dirhams here in where we are here. That is 2 dirham here. 2 dirham here cannot, I don't know what you can buy here, or water, maybe a bottle of water. Someone asks home, they line them up for 2,000 shillings, Ugandan shillings. That is how much you have been reduced to. And when you talk to them, for example, right now, I try to communicate to some of them, because even you try to communicate to some of them, say like, guys, we need to hear these thoughts about Eastern and everything. Can you join us? Let's speak about this and this. None of them has the platform. None of them is on a platform. None of them has an idea how to which social media is on. Those ones who are there, the only thing they know, the social media they know, it's WhatsApp. That's the only social media handle they know. So this is how poor our people are. The roads are so bad that you cannot even comprehend. The roads are so bad. We have reduced to feeder roads. You find there's a main road that is supposed to take you to town. It's like a feeder road that takes you to your village. And rain comes in. When rain comes in, it has now washed it. It has dug the road down deep. It has dug the road down deep that if you have a car, you cannot pass comfortably. You have to, those potholes, those potholes, we see them in Kampala, there it's worse, it's down, it's down. The rain has dug it down and brought the other soil up, and covered the other side. So the roads are really bad. So the only thing is try to speak to our youth and to revive them. This is the big task that we have, to revive them, to show them that there is another world after M7. There is another place after M7. Dr. James was saying that, in Tororo that there's at least some resistance of the M7 era. Yeah, I think, that was maybe, I don't think that it's there, because everyone that you talks about only M7. There's no one, people don't know, when you talk to them about the change that we need to take ourselves to another level. People are green about it. People are green about it. When I don't know, when this, people that go to seek for change, the MPs, our MPs, this opposition MPs, I don't know what they do there, because I even don't know any MP in Tororo apart from Ekanya, I think, who has resigned now. I don't know any other MP that is in opposition in Tororo. Okay. So our people are really, really, really bad. As you can hear, it's really, really bad. As we have been ranked the poorest. This is second poorest in the country. That is the real thing. We are poorest, So that is how we are, and I hope that maybe our youths need to be revived. Our youths need to be spoken to, need to be rallied to understand that there's a world that they need to come to. There's a world that they need to reach to, other than just being in this era that we are in. It's the wrong era, and we need to move on. Yeah, this is what I would love to submit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abraham at UG. Abraham Pade, thank you so much for that submission. And I really relate and agree with almost everything you said about the disenfranchisement and about the general situation, in most of those areas is undesirable, completely undesirable. And no one would have let, that happen to people of Eastern Uganda, but a person who does not, have anything to relate to with Eastern Uganda. That's the problem we're having right now. I really want to welcome you all to this space. It's just another half of it, because the first half was actually crashed, and then we shifted to this new space, but welcome to it. We are still shifting some of the things we had put in the comment section back here, so you will check the comment section and be able to engage once you find content there. So feel free to pick up the mic and talk to us. We are today discussing Eastern Uganda. We are discussing how to engage the people and make them rise. We are also going on ahead to highlight some of the major problems, some of the catastrophes that are befalling the East, some of the gross corruption, All those things are part of the discussion today. You could be having a solution. We also welcome you, to tell us, an approach that we could use for the Eastern Uganda, because all this we are doing as we drum up our cause for 9th, and that's 9th October. Remember that that is the day that we are setting out to march, en masse. Yes, we want all communities, all regions, all political parties, all sexes, including others, all, everyone in every perspective must be informed and must be ready to respond to our call for 9th October, the Grand March to Parliament. But we are first of all in Eastern Uganda, and we have been here talking about those areas because the good thing is our government has already demarcated, and they have already set up the areas that they believe are part of East and West and things like that. So according to their own writings, we are talking about areas of Tororo, areas of Soroti, areas of Sironko, Serere, Palisasai, Ngora, Namutumba, Namayingo, Mbale, Mayuge, Manafwa, Luka, Kwen, Kumi, areas of Chibuku, Katakwi, Kapchora, Kamuli, Kaliro, Kalaki. Okay, Kalaki is also part of Kabera Maido. Areas of Jinja, Iganga, Buyende, areas of Busia, Butaleja, Bulambuli, areas of Bukedea, Bujiri, Bududa, Budaka, Amuria, and areas of that side. So if you know of any person who is from that area, tell them, that this is their space, they should come and, speak to us. You also want to hear people speaking in their mother tongues, Yes, after your submission or before your submission or in between your submission, you could give us, your local, language, so that, it makes the whole, conversation a bit more organic, Yes, and then you could give us, the local problems, the local triggers, where should people be looking at? When protesting, for example, where should people start from? For example, me who is coming from Bale, I am telling everyone I can that if we are going to protest, we are going to start from the regional hospital of Mbale, from that gate, and then we'll be moving up to that clock tower that has been barricaded. I passed there and I was shocked. You have a clock tower in the middle of town, it's something of beauty, but it has been barricaded by, oh my God, like they built a whole fence around it that has barbed wire on top, and I was like, what the fuck? But all those areas, wherever you're coming from, this space is for you to talk about your area, talk to your people, Remind them that 9th October is here and we have work to do. We have action, to run. Yes, that's it. That's all about this space. And I see Fresh Baba, you can unmute and talk to us.
Thank you, Elam Dada. Co-host Buluma, fellow comrades, once again I salute you and I greet you, everyone. And I thank you.
Elam Dada, I think.
Am I audible?
Yes. You can hear you, Fresh Baba. Buluma, what are you saying?
I heard like Buluma interjecting. Maybe his network, but I hope I'm audible to other people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I appreciate everyone for this initiative we are taking. This is a matter of national importance. This is a matter concerning us Ugandans and our grandchild, probably. I'm Westerner. Like I said in the first space which crashed, I come from Butevo district. I'm a Mugwere by tribe. And allow me to talk about the health system in my village. The village is called Kabwangase. This village, it has one health center 3, and with one midwife, who happens to be my relative, who is offering services there. It has one clinic officer and some 2 medical assistants. But this is a health center covering up over 10 villages around, and it is approximated to be attending to about 200 patients a day, whereby, as you know, how our health system is. This is a health center where you don't find medicine like any other village, like any other part of Uganda, where you can go and line up for the whole day. And if you're lucky enough, you can come back with Panadol if you're lucky to meet the health the clinic officer or the health attendant at the health center. So people go there every day who need to be attended to. I mean, people are sick, looking for health service, but they spend the whole day without being attended to. Sometimes when the attendants are not around, or if the attendant is only one who is on duty, you may find only the midwife who is on duty. And remember, there's only one midwife attending to very many mothers who have come for the service, and she's overwhelmed with the numbers. Sometimes, as you know, there are no equipment to use, so patients are asked to go and buy them. As you know, it has become like a norm in Uganda. To any government health institution, you have to buy the equipments, all the things to be used upon you when you're sick. So it's the same everywhere, just like in my village and other villages and in Uganda as a whole. So the situation there is quite alarming, and people are few who can at least afford some private clinics, small clinics. They can go there and maybe acquire some little treatment, like if they can afford it, if possible. But as you know, the poverty level in our villages and in our countries, most of the people cannot even afford the private clinic centers because they are somehow expensive because they are not government. And the hope they could be having is the government health centers, but it's a disgrace to them and to any other person who could reach there because there is no service at all. And this is a health center which has only one building used for everything. Electricity is there, but it is on and off. It can take even a week when it's not there. And remember, there are some medicines which has to be kept in fridges to be kept safe for future use. But you can imagine if power is off for a whole week, what will happen for those medicines in case they are there. That's the situation, briefly, which is happening to my village, as well as I can share it with you. And I know it's not only in my village, but in Uganda generally, and in most of the villages, it's the same story. So we suffer the same problems as Ugandans, right from the villages to urban centers, because that doesn't end only in villages, but it comes even to urban centers, like in cities, towns. It's the same story. So that's the situation there, meaning that if there is any critical condition in my village, the patient has to be rushed to Mbale Hospital, main hospital, like Elemo Dada has been telling us, because that is the nearby regional hospital we have in East Uganda, probably near my village or my district. It covers up many districts in Eastern, but this is a hospital which is also in a shrinking state, which is also in a rotten state, no medicines, no equipments, and it's a regional referral hospital for many districts and for which is there to attend on very many patients. And if you are not able to be taken to Mbale Hospital, probably, if you're not lucky enough, you may end up dying, which is unfortunate to any Ugandan at this age, at this regime, and in this 21st century. Being glued by the tail end for over 40 years, but we are still in that kind of state. It is so alarming, and I want to say that as Ugandans and my fellow Easterners, if we continue keeping quiet and keeping silent, getting adopted to the situation is going to go on up to our future grandchildren. So we need to come out and do something possible. LM Dada, allow me also to talk about the road network in my village. We have a road connecting right from Mbale. It starts from a place called Nakaroke. I think LM Dada knows that place. It runs up to Parisa town. But this road is in a bad state, very bad state. It's not tarmacked, full of dust. I've grown up the entire life of mine seeing this road in the same state. And that's the road everyone uses, whether you're sick, whether you're fine, whether you have commodities to take maybe to Mbale or anywhere to sell. That's the road you have to use, which is in a very bad state, full of potholes, very narrow. And actually, like any other roads in Uganda, almost every day there are accidents on that small car road of ours. Sometimes claiming people's lives, very unfortunate. And those are the things which can even make people to lose hope in this regime, because we are totally neglected and left out. It's like we are living in an isolated world of Uganda, just like any other village in this country. In my village, we had a very strongest PTC, and this is called Kabwanga's PTC. It used to train primary teachers It was a giant PTC in Eastern region, probably. It was very strong. We used to be proud of it because this is a PTC which produced very many teachers from Mbale, from Palisa, from Bukedea, Soroti, and all those surrounding districts. They could come to Kabwanga's PTC because it was very strong and good in state. But right now, the information I have or I get from there is that that PTC was sold out to a certain individual, and it is actually privatized. I think they're even going to demolish it and put something else, which is very bad because this is a PTC which has been helping a lot of people to get some knowledge from there, probably become teachers and help other Ugandans in any other places or schools. This PTC we used to go there for co-curricular activities because it was the good place where we could go for co-curricular activity competitions for schools. All schools could combine there for the co-curricular activities like athletics, football, and any other like that. But right now, because of being neglected by the regime, and as you know, regime doesn't wish Ugandans good or to be in a developing state. All that is history now. So co-curricular activities are nowadays shading out of schools, which used to help identify talents like footballers, athletes, and other things like that. But right now, it's history now because there is no way, no any other place such activities can be practiced from. And remember, a Minister of Education, because that falls under Minister of Education, which is headed by the First Lady, Madam Janet Kataha Museveni, who happens to be the wife to the President. And when you look at such states of education systems, you wonder what is her position, being the Minister of Education and Sports, and what is her intention of putting us where we are now. I can also talk about Elom Dada. Allow me also to talk about the issue of cattle. As Easterners are probably people from Teso, people from my place. We are known to be cattle farmers. We had a lot of cattle. Me, when I was still young, we had like 4 crowds of cattle, but they were all taken during the claimed LRA rebels or war and the Alice Lakwena. I hope most of you heard about that or know about that. And all that was taken, leaving people in poverty, leaving people struggling with life because that was our livelihood, where we could get money from, where we could sell and maybe take you to school, just like that, just like Westerners also. Much as we also practice some agriculture, like we used to practice cotton farming, like any other, like I think Moji talked about it. Cotton was our cash crop in my village, probably in Eastern. But right now, no one can practice that because they deliberately lost value because as I hear now, cotton is at 200 shillings. So you can't waste time cultivating cotton. Yet it used to be our cash crop and people used to benefit from it. People used to construct houses out of cotton. People used to buy these smaller motorbikes out of cotton. But right now, nothing you can achieve from it. And people have given up from it up now. No one can cultivate that. So this is a deliberate move to make Ugandans frustrated and vulnerably poor, so that they can be silenced in one way or the other, so that the regime can do what they want without any disturbance from any person. LM Dada, the host, and the other comrades, allow me to submit for now. I'll come in again later, probably. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Fresh Baba. Thank you so much for that submission, Mr. Kidia, and thank you for representing the people of Kabwangasi. You know, the Bagwere, you are well represented. Thank you for that submission, sir. I will not repeat a lot of what you've said because it was so clear, and I will only just say that the people of the Bagwere on this platform, Kabwangasi and all the surrounding areas, Palisa, have to know that the only solution to all these problems is by each one of them rising. Okay? These things you don't need a musigire, you don't need a leader, you don't need a, all the people have to know that the responsibility is in their hands, okay? To get better healthcare, the roads, getting good roads, getting lights at night, all these places are dark. That is something, by the way, there are no roads, yes, but there's even no lights. At night, it is complete darkness. So, I will not say much, but I hope the information is clear to all the people who are from that area. Thank you so much once again, our speaker, Fresh Baba. Mujisha, salam alaikum. How are you? Unmute and talk to us, sir.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nadde ndandise okutolontoka ne batujjako. Naye era nkomyewo. As I was saying in the other space that's crashed, the problem we have, we all know it very well. Tuleme kubeeraawo nga tuli mu denial. The problem is that we have this sense of self-denial fefe nyini. Buli kaseera tubeeraawo mwate mama, ate bansunye kundi, ate bansunye omugongo. We should know. Eastern region mulimu abantu abalina small kingdoms zaabwe. We have the Mughals. For example, people who come from the east. Bw'owulira nga bakugambye nti awo mukula ayagala waawo ku ttaka lyammwe mukula yalyagala. How do you feel? Don't you tremble? Temukankana mwenna n'amagulu ne gatandika okukubagana. So that is the problem we have in several parts of the country. That the whole system of Uganda is rotten from east, west, south, and everywhere. For that, we should understand it very well. Every region in the previous governments had a pivotal role in the uplifting of the country. Every region, you know. But as we speak right now, everything has been centralized into one place, and within this one place, they can't manage. So, ngenda kuyitirako ebbali katini. Ekisooka, we as Ugandans, we are living in individualism. For example, nja kunzikiriza kano nkayiseewo. Ebintu ebisinga tubyogerako ne tubireka we tubyogeredde. We speak things and we leave them where we have spoken them. We don't go back to reflect and then to see how we can implement. We have a lot of people who speak with a lot of power but can't implement the issue. For example, recently we told you about a certain guy. And now, soon as okunjulira, you see people who are supporting the same guy, whom we warned you about. But you will again find people saying, no, Mulimba. We need a central nervous system whereby before we say things or after we say things, we have a central nervous system that makes things to move. Dr. Kano Kiza Besigye today was reading in the trends. He said, when we should invoke Article 3, but when mbuza wano bameka bamanyi what Article 3 states. Another person stated that Ugandans twagala nnyo okukuma omuliro. Naye we are the number one cowards. Wano mu hey, tuli bamaanyi. But once we say, okay, hey, let's do something. You will see people chickening out. And then people who come out to do the action, we start judging them, we start putting them on weighing scales. Did they do well? Did they do bad? How was the action? How did it go? Where are we? Where are we going? Did they receive some money? Did they not receive some money? You know. So we as Ugandans, we should understand, because I'm not going to speak more about the problems and blah, blah, because we know them. Problems became a characteristics in the lives of Ugandans. When they ask you characteristics of a Ugandan, some people even started to say, being a Ugandan is a full-time job. One of the characteristics of being a Ugandan is to learn to withstand and to withhold the problems and mistreatment and the hard life. So we think it is part of us. And whoever tries to speak us out of it becomes an enemy of us. I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be that person who will be coming here to speak what you want to hear. Whether I'll be deviating from what you're trying to say. Nze newe nasage nga musharinga video za bugi nja bagamba ensi bagiwamba. Muli mukwegabira bugi simayanga jojo ensi bagiwamba. When abasanga nga mwogera kino nze nja teekawo ekyange ensi bagiwamba. Before I forget, we are here speaking, but do you know, dear brothers and sisters from Uganda, do you know that that there is something that is going on in a country that we as Ugandans, we can't afford to do what? We can't afford to live like that, because I was looking at, I think, was it Council Elon or Council Tobias, stating that the Human Rights Act is in dilemma. Chiryo Wachiwanuka and his people are in court. They want to quash it. The Anti-Torture Act they want to quash it. It is in court. And they want to do away with it. I've seen the charge sheet and everything. The court papers and everything. So if they do away with the Human Rights Act, and then they do away with Article 1, which says power belongs to the people, and the people shall be governed
on their own will. And now they want to take away that will and give that will to the parliament, which is more corrupt. And we are still talking about, it's like you're going to school, you don't have books, but you're asking for a pencil of maweke. But the books, you don't have them, even a pencil. So we should understand the biggest problem to tackle here, that the country is in dilemma, that the country is being stolen, that everything that we are discussing, we are doing postmortem of things